How to never run out of things to say during a conversation. Do you want to know the truth? You actually don't. Like, be honest with yourself here for a second. Do you want every conversation to go on forever? Like, obviously, no. Maybe you're talking to a cute girl and you really want to impress her. You really want to keep talking to her because you think that's going to make her like you even more. It actually doesn't. Sometimes even very short and snappy conversations are exactly the ones which help you build better connections with people. Because let's be honest here, that's your real goal, to build a connection and find out if you and the person you're talking to are compatible. At least that's how I think. Like, that's the main purpose of talking to people, is to decide if you two actually like each other and want to continue talking to each other in the future. So because of that, I've actually prepared 3 tips that you can do next time when you're in conversation to help you build better connection with people and to stop you from overthinking in these situations. Because if you're watching a video like this, I almost guarantee that you have some level of overthinking going on when you're in conversation, if you have to think about how to lengthen these conversations even further. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Mate. I went through a huge transformation to go from a shy, nervous kid to someone who's now confident in conversation, can make friends wherever I go, and I've also built my dream social life with a bunch of fun people. So if this sounds like something you want in your own life, I can definitely teach you a couple tips and tricks I've learned throughout the years. The first piece of advice I have for you is to don't filter. Many times when you're in conversation, you feel like, oh shit, what should I say next? It's just not that you don't have anything to say. It's very often that we just don't deem what we want to say interesting enough. Thoughts randomly pop up in your head. It's just very often we think of these thoughts that they're just not good enough for the person we're talking to, or they're not good enough for the conversation we are in. Listen, if you're not a complete, total autist, it's usually the exact first thought that pops up in your head which is the best for the situation. Especially when you want to start a conversation, this applies tenfold. You see a cute girl and you think like, oh damn, she looks really cute in that dress, or she looks very elegant. I've actually done this multiple times. Like, I see a girl, she's just very elegantly, and you just tell her like, hey, you look really elegant, you're going on a date or something. And maybe she laughs a bit, like whatever. But the whole point of it is that it's a much more genuine interaction rather than me, preparing it beforehand what I'm going to say. I've actually had this very conversation with one of my very close friends not long ago. We were in a group setting with a lot of our friends. We were chatting, we were laughing, telling jokes, and I realized he was way more quiet than usual. And afterwards, I asked him, like, "Hey, bro, like, why didn't you, join in the conversation? You in a bad mood or something?" And he told me, like, "No, no, no. It's just that I didn't really think that what I want to say is interesting enough." Because he didn't think that his ideas, his thoughts are good enough for the group. And I think this is actually a very common issue. And I actually suffered from the same thing for a long time as well. The mindset which helped me get out of this issue was, I thought that if I think of something as interesting, other people have a high chance of finding the same thing interesting as well. And even if they might know it already, they're still going to be glad that I reminded them of that interesting fact, or maybe I told them an interesting story. If I find the story interesting and I practice it, enough times to be a good storyteller, other people are going to like that story too. And yeah, sure, maybe a couple people are not going to like it, but there's definitely going to be more who do. And those are going to be the people, again, who you are going to be compatible with. Because remember, this is our goal, to build compatibility, to find if we are compatible. So in conclusion, speak your mind more often. It's not that you don't have anything interesting to say, it's just that you are filtering yourself too much. And this goes into point number 2, be more polarizing. Being polarizing just means that you make people either like you more or dislike you. And you do that literally by just sharing your interests and showing your more genuine, authentic, and honest self. Just think about it. Yes, some people might not like the way you think, they might not like the way you act. But even if you put a filter on yourself, you're still acting in a certain way. And there's still going to be people who are not going to like you because of it. If you're a naturally, loud and extroverted person and, you dim yourself down, there's going to be people who are going to think like, oh, that's an awkward guy, he's not saying much. When in reality, those are the exact people who would have liked you more when you are actually like yourself. Like, for a long time, I was actually, back in primary school, I was actually, a very open, very happy kid. And then, like, in my early teenage years, I kind of had to tone myself down. And I felt like shit, honestly, during that time period. And want to know something interesting? After I started acting again more extroverted and more open and a bit more, loud and outgoing, that's when I started to make more friends who actually like me, who I actually liked even more. It's just how life works. You are going to attract the type of people in your life who like you for the way you like to act. And what's also interesting is that the most charismatic people I know are the most polarizing. And they're also the most social as well. Why? Because they get into a new group setting and a lot of people instantly have an opinion about them. And the people who are like them already gravitate towards them. But the truth is, they didn't actually want to be friends with everyone to begin with, right? You don't want to be friends with everyone to begin with. You don't want to be friends with the homeless crackheads, right? You want actually genuinely good people who think like you and who are similar to you in certain ways. So because of this, let's say you go to a group and there's like 50 people there. It's a large group of people. You're going to find those couple guys or girls who are very similar to you. You're going to attract them if you act in a way which is true to yourself. That's why you must be polarizing. And that's why dimming yourself down and trying to act in this way, which is like socially acceptable and walking on eggshells, will actually cause people to dislike you even more. I've been doing that for very, very long. And when I stopped it, when I started acting more like I wanted to, that's when girls started to find me more attractive. And that's when I started to build better friendships with guys. By the way, if you want to learn even more from me about socializing and building your dream social life with all the fun girls and all the cool guys that you already see yourself being friends with, and imagine you're even the group leader, bro, I have a full guide prepared for you because I know how difficult it is. You don't know what to do, you don't know what to say. So I've prepared it step by step for you in advance. If you're interested in that, check it out, top link in the description. The third lesson I want to teach you today is to don't script your words. Imagine this. Every conversation has a reason behind it. You're at the same venue, you find the other person attractive, you have common interests, or you maybe have a common acquaintance. There's already a reason to talk to each other. That should be enough. That should be plenty enough reason for you to just command your legs, walk up to them, and say words. And you want to know the most interesting thing? As I said, being polarizing actually gets people to like you more. It's just that it gets people to like you in ways that you've never realized before. Because when I got to university, I started to act polarizing already because I was already learning these things at the end of high school and things like that. So I realized that people actually don't really dislike you that often. It's just how it works. In real, maybe online, yeah, people are more, open about their opinions and they're like more extreme. But in real life, I rarely have negative interactions with people. It's usually some drunk retard at a club or something like that. But just at uni, during daylight, most of my conversations are really positive because people are actually open to talk to you. But here's the thing. If you script your words in advance, people are just going to sense that you are weird. I know it's completely counterintuitive, but whenever I've decided okay, I'm going to talk to this person after class or something, and I'm already, preparing in my head oh, I heard her talk about this presentation and everything. And they were talking about cell phones and dopamine detox. And I was like, oh, that's such a cool topic. Oh, I'm going to say this to her, but now her friends are there. So I'm going to wait until their friends go. And then I'm going to go, bro, it's just a waste of time. Just if you have a thought to talk to a person, the more you practice, the less awkward you're going to be. Listen, the first 5 to 10 chances you get, you might be a bit awkward, but afterwards, it's just going to be way more natural, especially if you practice not filtering your mind, speaking your mind, being more polarizing, and that's really all you need. And completely stop scripting what you're going to say to the other person, because it just makes it, for some reason, even more awkward. Even if what you're saying is logically good and everything, fits the scenario, if you say some brain dead retard shit without scripting it, just some brain dead hey, how you doing? That's even better. You don't have to start with such a good and such a thought-provoking question at the beginning. Just be a human being, start talking to them, and you will find out if you two are actually compatible very, very fast that way. Thanks for watching the video. Again, if you want to learn even more from me, I have a full guide prepared for you. to create your full social circle. Top link in description. But until then, my friend, thank you for watching and stay social.